right, let's dive in. Irish accents today. Got this Love Ireland newsletter, and you know what? I always thought, I kind of knew, like, the basics of an Irish accent, but
Right.
this is making me rethink things.
It is fascinating. The newsletter kicks off talking about Liam Neeson.
Yeah, and that just, like,
No.
instantly, you hear it in your head, right? That
Yeah.
classic Irish accent.
Absolutely, yeah.
He's been in, what, Star Wars, superhero movies, even played Zeus.
Yeah.
But that Ballymena accent
Never goes away.
never fades. People love it, right? It's got to be part of why he's such a star. What is it about that accent, do you think?
You know, I think it taps into this thing we all crave a bit, which is authenticity.
Okay.
Especially, in media, everything's so polished.
Generic sounding.
Exactly. But Neeson's accent, it feels real.
Grounded.
It's like it reminds you of a place, like a history and culture that's different from like typical Hollywood.
Yeah, I get that. It's like it adds, I don't know, believability or something, even when he's fighting, like mythical creatures.
Right.
You can't forget where he's from.
You never forget where he came from. And remember, he's from Ballymena, County Antrim, but that's just one little piece of a much bigger puzzle.
Yeah.
You shared this guide to Irish accents, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it shows you how diverse they get across the whole island.
So are you saying it's not just like one Irish accent?
Not at all. It's a spectrum. Like the guide makes this point, boiling a whole country down to one accent, it's not just inaccurate.
Yeah.
It can lead to some pretty funny
I bet.
misunderstandings for sure.
So where do we even begin with this whole map of accents? Is there like one region that's just super unique?
Well, since we were just up north with Liam Neeson, let's scoot a bit further up the coast to County Donegal.
Donegal, okay.
Known for rugged beauty, and yep, you guessed it, its own way of speaking.
I guess what makes it so different?
Okay, so imagine if Liam Neeson's accent is like a smoothly flowing river.
Okay.
The Donegal accent's like a crashing wave.
Oh, wow.
Fast-paced, rhythmic, almost like a song. They even emphasize different syllables than you might expect.
So it's not just the words, it's the way they say it.
The delivery makes it distinct, yeah. And get this, the Donegal accent. They think it's one of the oldest
Wow.
and most traditional in all of Ireland. Really deep roots in Gaelic, which some folks still speak there today.
Like a linguistic time capsule.
Exactly.
I'm already picturing myself in a pub there trying to understand what people are saying.
Which brings us nicely to the newsletter's travel tip.
Oh, yeah.
Just listening to those accents is
Right.
a fantastic way to immerse yourself.
Makes sense. Although they also had that tip about packing a face washer for certain motels. Is that really necessary? Seems a little random.
It might seem odd at first, but it's like a cultural nuance thing. Some older accommodations in Ireland, they might not automatically give you a face cloth. It goes back to when they just weren't that common. So packing one, it's like this little act of preparedness.
Oh, so
It's like showing respect for local customs.
I never would have thought of that. It's a good reminder, like, pay attention to those little things.
Subtle differences. Yeah. Even something as simple as a
Face cloth.
face cloth, right. And speaking of cultural experiences, the newsletter also points out some exciting stuff happening right now.
Like what?
Well, first off, County Clare. It's been named a top spot to visit in Europe for 2025 by Condé Nast Traveler, and for good reason.
Yeah, the Cliffs of Moher, right?
They're iconic, but there's also this unique landscape called the Burren, like vast limestone pavement, almost like a moonscape.
The Cliffs of Moher are definitely on my list, but the Burren, I had no idea.
It's truly remarkable. Just one example of what you can discover in Ireland. And, beyond the scenery, there's some festive stuff too. The Coca-Cola Christmas truck, it's making its rounds in Dublin and Belfast, spreading that holiday cheer. And if you're looking for something really unique, there's this Donegal Christmas experience where you can encounter Arctic animals.
Wait, reindeer in Ireland?
Yeah.
That's not something you hear every day.
So yeah, from Liam Neeson's accent to reindeer, this newsletter is packed with interesting stuff.
It really is. Makes you wonder, why are accents so captivating?
That's a great question. What is it about these little changes in how we speak that just piques our curiosity?
That's a good question, and one we should definitely explore further. But first, a quick reminder for our listeners.
If you want a deeper dive into Irish culture, travel tips, and those wonderful local accents, subscribing to the Love Ireland newsletter is a great place to start. You won't regret it. Almost like they're sonic fingerprints, right? Little hints at someone's background, their experiences.
Yeah, like a secret language we all kind of understand.
Yeah. Exactly. Think about how just a certain accent can bring up these strong emotions or images, right? Like a southern drawl.
Oh, yeah.
Makes you think of hospitality,
Yeah.
warmth, right? Or a crisp British accent. Maybe you think of sophistication or authority.
And Irish accents? For
Yes.
me, warmth, humor, maybe a little mischief thrown in.
It's fascinating, isn't it? How just changing how you pronounce things can completely change how we see a person, even a place.
Absolutely. We were talking about those different Irish accents, and you mentioned Donegal being extra unique. Can you give us like a concrete example of how it's different, say, from Liam Neeson's accent?
Sure, let's take a super simple word like yes.
Uh,
Lots of parts of Ireland you'd hear yes or yes. But in Donegal, you might get yes, like with this drawn out, almost hissing S sound.
yes. Oh, yeah, I can hear it. It's almost musical.
Exactly. And that musicality is even stronger with how they use their tone, the rhythm. Donegal speakers, they've got this lilting up and down way of talking. It's like their sentences are melodies. You know what? This reminds me of a documentary I saw about traditional Irish music. And the musicians from Donegal, they had this very particular way of speaking.
Oh, interesting.
It was like their accents were part of the music.
You hit the nail on the head. Accents aren't just about how you say words. It's a whole way of expressing yourself. It's culture. It's history baked into how your voice sounds.
Okay, I'm sold. I gotta hear this Donegal accent for myself.
Well, if you're ever in Ireland, County Donegal should be on your list. Not just for the accents, but the scenery is incredible. The newsletter mentions the coast, those dramatic cliffs, the hidden beaches. They even have a saying in Donegal, up here, it's different.
Up here, it's different. I like that. It's like they're proud of being unique.
And that pride, it comes through in their accent, right? It's like saying, this is where I'm from, this is me.
You know, going back to that face cloth tip, it makes you realize how much you can learn just from paying attention to these tiny, almost insignificant details. Absolutely. It's in those little nuances that we start to really understand a place, right? And that's what makes travel so great. It's about getting out of your comfort zone, embracing what's different, finding those hidden treasures.
Well said. Speaking of hidden treasures, the newsletter talked about County Clare getting recognized as a top European spot for 2025.
Yes. And while the cliffs of Moher are world famous, there's way more to Clare. Have you heard of the Ailwee Cave?
Ailwee Cave, no. Can't say I have.
It's this whole underground world. Stalactites, stalagmites, even an underground waterfall.
Wow.
It's completely different from the coast, but just as amazing.
See, this is why I love these deep dives. I'm learning so much about Ireland, stuff I never knew.
And it's all thanks to this Love Ireland newsletter.
Exactly. It's a good reminder that there's always something new to discover, even in places we think we know.
It's about having that curiosity, wanting to go deeper, really experience the richness of the world around us.
And what better place to start than with these incredible Irish accents?
Each one, it's like a story, right? Whispers of history, tradition, a deep connection to the land.
To our listeners, go find those voices. Listen to how Irish people speak, the rhythm of it. Let those accents take you to the heart of Ireland.
And if you really want to dive into the magic of Ireland,
Subscribe to the Love Ireland newsletter. It's your ticket to those hidden gems, the stories, and yeah, all those amazing Irish accents we've been talking about.
you won't be disappointed.
You know, it's funny. We always say, like, see the sights when you travel, but you don't hear people saying, hear the places much. You know?
Yeah, that's true. And I think this newsletter, it kind of gets at that, highlighting the accents.
Yeah, like, don't just look at Ireland, listen to it.
Exactly.
And it's not just understanding of the words, right? It's like the rhythm and how they say it, almost musical.
It's those nuances. Like we were talking about Donegal.
Yeah.
Fast-paced, almost lyrical. It tells you something about their history, their connection to where they're from.
And Liam Neeson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Super famous, but still has that Ballymena accent, like a badge of honor.
Adds to his appeal, right? There's a charm to owning your accent no matter where you go. Like, this is me and I'm proud.
So for us, thinking about travel, it's a reminder to go deeper. Not just the surface stuff, but really appreciate a culture through how they speak.
Absolutely. Travel's not just checking things off a list.
Right.
It's the people, the stories, the heart of the place, and that often comes out through language.
So as we wrap up thinking about these Irish accents, what's like the one thing you want listeners to take away?
I'd say, remember, accents are more than just how you pronounce words. They're a glimpse into a culture's past, traditions, the soul of a place. And difference is something to appreciate, to really enjoy. So next time you hear an Irish accent, don't just hear the words, hear the story behind them.
That's a great way to put it. And folks, if you're looking for more of those stories, more about the magic of Ireland, go check out the Love Ireland newsletter, full of travel tips, insights into the culture, and they're clearly passionate about all things Irish. You won't be sorry.